The closing bell has rung, but the business story continues. I'm Robert Tan. You're watching Business Brief. Let's get started. Investors withdraw from DP World over its CEO's link to convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. inspects several stations of the Metro Manila subway that are under construction. And Senator Lauren Legarda calls for a review of the 107 billion pesos remitted by the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation to the National Treasury. Pressure mounts on DP World as controversy surrounds CEO Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayan over his alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The Dubai-based ports operator, which owns a stake in Asian Terminals Incorporated, faces scrutiny as Maharlika Investment Corporation moves to buy shares in ATI amid the company's planned delisting from the Philippine Stock Exchange. Investors from the British International Investment and Canada's LA case paused new capital deployments, with DP World raising questions about the impact on ADI's operations and the transparency of its future disclosures. Critics warn that public funds used by Maharlika to support the tender offer could benefit private shareholders Yossi Tanco and June Palafox, while taxpayers bear the risk. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. gives an assurance that the Metro Manila subway project is a sustainable and long-term solution to traffic congestion in Metro Manila. Marcos made the statement as he led the inspection of the MMSP Shaw Boulevard station in Pasig City and the groundbreaking of 2 underground stations in Taguig City, adding that the project is very much on schedule. He said travel time from Valenzuela City to Bonifacio Global City will be reduced to 29 minutes, while travel from Quezon City to the Ninoy Aquino International Airport will be cut to 35 minutes once fully operational. The 33-kilometer subway with 17 stations is implemented by the Department of Transportation and financed by the Japan International Cooperation Agency, and is expected to serve up to 500,000 passengers daily. Senator Lauren Legarda raises serious moral and policy concerns over the 107 billion pesos remitted by the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation to the National Treasury. Legarda argues the funds came from the Deposit Insurance Fund built from bank premiums to insure deposits and respond to bank failures, and warns that diverting these reserves risks weakening the country's deposit insurance system. The remittance was authorized under a special provision in the General Appropriations Act of 2024, which has since been declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court of the Philippines, echoing its earlier ruling on the 60 billion transfer involving PhilHealth funds. Legarda maintains that whether it is health or deposit insurance, weakening safeguards ultimately harms ordinary Filipinos, urging Congress to review the policy to preserve public trust in financial safety nets. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Monetary Board meets Feb 19 for its first possible rate cut of 2026, a closely watched move by markets. On BNC's Business 360, Atram CIO for Portfolio Management, Vince Dafon, says there's a higher probability the BSP will maintain current interest rates.
So where do you think it's going in 2026, interest rates?
Bias is still lower. I think we're...
So you think we're going to see a cut on the 19th?
Gun to my head, I'd put it at maybe 60 to 40% favoring a pause. 60 to 40, yes.
Okay.
Because we do have to be mindful of what the Federal Reserve will do, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. A big component of these decisions, I think, will be its effect on the currency, and that currency will be driven by this differential between U.S. and Philippine interest rates. Now it's about 0.75%, but we've seen it at that spread, and the currency is maybe at 55 or 56.
Yeah. So pause on the 19th, but thereafter, where do you think it's going to end this 2026?
Right. I would say maybe another 0.25 to 0.5% decrease in the policy rate.
Despite significant easing since August 2024, the market has yet to see a major lift, keeping a close watch on how far the central bank can go without disrupting the peso or inflation targets. National government strengthens local governments through the Local Government Support Fund. On BNC's Political Nightly, San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora says the LGSF will provide direct funding to LGUs for major projects like upgrading the San Juan Medical Center and purchasing medical equipment. He adds that local officials will be personally accountable for the implementation and monitoring of these projects. Mayors are now waiting for final fund allocations to begin work in their respective communities.
First time po na magiging ganito kalaki ang pondo ng LGSF, and ang ating Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. talaga pinaparamdam sa mga LGUs ang empowerment. No? Mismong si Pangulong Marcos ako nagsabi nito that he will empower LGUs. So ito na nga ho yun. Ang pondo po ay ida-download na directly to the local government units. Ngayon ho, kami na mismo sa LGUs. So we will be accountable because the funds will be downloaded to our LGUs. Kami ho magpapabid out niyan.
Yes.
Kami ang magmamonitor ng implementation niyan. So mas accountable po kami.
Advocacy groups vowed to keep pressing for accountability for the flood control scandal as they prepare for a protest march marking the 40th anniversary of the EDSA People Power Revolution. On Billionaire News Channel's Political Nightly, Tindig Pilipinas co-convener Francis Kiko Aquino D says government institutions are still lacking in pursuing accountability over the alleged corruption scandal. Aquino D says call for mass mobilization will continue until officials are held to account.
Mahalaga pa rin magmarcha kasi tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung issue ng korupsyon, flood control, lahat ng anomalya na bagamat meron tayong nakikitang konting progress dito, may mga big fish nang nakukulong at mukhang may makukulong pa, hindi pa ata na papanagot yung lahat ng mga sangkot dito sa issue na ito. Kaya dapat tuloy-tuloy po yung pag-iit ng taong bayan kasi yung progress na nakikita natin, tingin ko dahil nga yun sa pagmamarcha natin hindi yun ginagawa ng kusa ng gobyerno.
Aquino D says the march will focus on three objectives: holding corrupt officials accountable, pushing for the passage of an anti-political dynasty law, and supporting measures to strengthen the anti-corruption probe. He stresses the importance of commemorating the EDSA People Power Revolution is not just as a historic event, but as a moment to reflect on the state of the country's democracy.
Yung EDSA, for me, isang napaka-tangible na dahilan kung bakit dapat tayo maging proud na Pinoy tayo. Na sa puntong yun, pinalayas natin yung isang diktador, na ibalik natin yung demokrasya natin, at ginawa natin yun sa isang mapayapang paraan. No? And tayo yung hinangaan ng buong mundo. May mga bansa na gumaya sa Pilipinas dahil sa nung panahon ng Cold War. And I think yun, at that point, yung point yun na tayo yung hinahangaan ng buong mundo.
Activities will be held from the EDSA Shrine to Club Filipino with a program set at the People Power Monument. As travel demand continues to recover and airport capacity expands, airlines are moving quickly to open new routes and capture growth opportunities abroad. AirAsia is setting its sights to Bahrain, launching new routes and outlining plans to expand flights, aircraft, and passenger capacity in the coming years. The airline says the initiative is aimed not just at travel, but also at supporting broader economic growth and connectivity. Our mobility correspondent, G. Baroga, reports.
2, 1. Bahrain today is a dream. That's how Tony Fernandez, Group CEO of Capital A and co-founder of AirAsia, described the airline's newest international expansion. With the new routes, AirAsia is now linking Malaysia in Southeast Asia to Bahrain in the Middle East and even onward to London in Europe. But for Fernandez, it's not just about flights and destinations. He says AirAsia's entry is also about boosting Bahrain's local economy, much like what the airline has done in other countries where it operates.
whatever we have gone, wherever we've gone in Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Cambodia, we've always hired local people and created jobs. Our dream over the next number of years is to create 100,000 jobs in Bahrain. We're very confident of doing that, and to add, to invest almost $10 billion into this wonderful economy.
Looking ahead, AirAsia has big plans. Over the next 8 years, it aims to base 100 aircraft in Bahrain, carry up to 45 million passengers, and connect the country to 120 more cities worldwide.
We want to grow those number of flights. I think we'll announce a flight from Bangkok very soon to Bahrain. And we will probably add about 6 or 7 flights this year to Bahrain. So the plan is to start about 6 routes from Southeast Asia, from Bangkok and KL to Bahrain to Europe, and potentially 1 destination in Africa.
Bahrain International Airport will welcome AirAsia's first commercial flight from Kuala Lumpur on June 26, marking a new chapter in connectivity between the 2 destinations. The partnership was officially announced on February 11, coinciding with the arrival of the airline's inaugural cargo flight from China. In the Philippines, AirAsia still has no direct flights to Bahrain, a key destination for many overseas Filipino workers. But Fernandez says that could change in the future, especially with the opening of the new Manila International Airport in Bulacan. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga, Manama, Bahrain.
From government revenues to consumer trends, the country's fast-growing digital economy is reshaping how brands compete and connect with Filipino shoppers. With the rapid rise of online shopping, e-commerce is reshaping the business landscape. Utilizing technology, social media, and talent, brands are finding smarter and faster ways to connect with consumers, turning efficiency into engagement. Now, a new dry shampoo enters the market in gel form. Beyond hair care, this launch highlights how innovation is driving the next wave in consumer solutions. Mike Oreta has the details.
Designed for style, convenience, and portability. Easy to use, but more importantly, built to scale. But what does it take to launch a product like this in today's market? Let's find out. In 2026, a product launch no longer starts on a store shelf. It starts on a screen. Discovery, decision, and conversation now happen in real time. Online, on demand, and in front of a live audience.
I'm Brian Beyond is a new product with the Bench Group.
The major chunk of our sales come from live streaming. So it's like, I think 70% of the business. That's why, again, we have a lot of live hosts, they do live selling, and I think the advantage of that compared to traditional marketing is that they promote the item real time. They connect to the audience. They really answer the questions real time also, and they can show the benefits in the video, in the live stream.
For consumers, it feels seamless. For brands, it's highly strategic. Live selling compresses the entire sales funnel, from awareness to questions to purchase in a single session. Every click, comment, and conversation becomes data, feeding decisions in real time. That data determines what works and what doesn't in days, not months.
So with e-commerce now, I think it's a lot easier for us to convert or to see what is working well for the consumers. So sample with the PDP or the product display picture, we can easily edit it just to see which freebies will convert customers to check out.
This is why stores still matter, but for a different reason. The Philippines remains a mall-centric market. Consumers still want to see, touch, and try, especially for beauty and personal care. But stores are no longer just points of sale. They're now trial zones, content studios, experience hubs, designed to feed the digital engine.
In the first few weeks, we measure success by, of course, talkability. So we want to see more videos about it being talked about consumers. We want to see people, of course, using it in the streets. Like, we'd love to see that. I think another thing also is just also getting more influencers getting to talk about it and more sales.
In 2026, talkability is a metric, visibility is a strategy, and speed is a requirement. Big retailers are no longer just sellers. They're operating like platforms, incubating products, testing demand, controlling distribution, data, and delivery, all within one ecosystem. But even in this digital-first economy, one rule hasn't changed. A product still has to work. It has to deliver real value, and it has to earn repeat use. Because scale only amplifies what a product can already deliver. It's dry shampoo in gel form, simple enough. But in today's retail economy, the product is just the starting line. The real challenge is making it move from screen to consumer to scale.
Social media companies, not children, should be held accountable for the spread of disinformation online. On Billionaire News Channel's On Point, Kabataan Party List Representative Rene Cos says tech giants must face penalties for failing to curb harmful content on their platforms instead of shifting the burden to users, especially the youth. Co argues that social media companies continue to avoid full responsibility in regulating online content even as disinformation persists.
Ilang beses din pinukpok no, yung Meta like for an explanation or ano bang protocols yung ini-establish nila para mas ma-curb yung disinformation. And at the end of the day, hindi tayo nasasatisfy sa answers nila. And actually, I think in the past year, they even rolled back no, yung kanilang mga essentially terms and conditions and community standards.
Cos says some platforms have even adopted a more hands-off approach that relies heavily on community enforcement, a system she says is not always effective. She stresses that without stronger corporate accountability, disinformation and online harm will continue to put young and marginalized users at risk.
Right now, ini-explore natin yung all kinds of measures para ma-actionan to. Penalties for Facebook or other platforms that let and allow yung gantong klaseng mga disinformation to continue, clauses that, make executing self-regulation that should be greater and stricter, and, yung mga paano yung minors, children, vulnerable sectors, even marginalized communities, LGBTQ+, paano sila mas maprotektahan dito.
An animal welfare group is hopeful that Congress will pass a bill that will strengthen the enforcement of animal protection laws. That's according to Jana Sevilla, senior campaigner of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA. On Billionaire News Channel's At the Forefront, Sevilla says House Bill 7696, or the Animal Welfare Enforcement Act, would give existing laws more teeth by institutionalizing enforcement rather than leaving it to non-government organizations. Filed by Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila De Lima and backed by advocacy groups, the measure seeks to establish animal welfare desks in every police station nationwide. Under the proposal, trained officers would handle cases of animal abuse, neglect, and wildlife trafficking.
Limited ang resources ng NGO. For example, sa PETA, ilan lang kaming caseworkers? 2, 3, with all the reports that we receive. And it's not all about cruelty. We have like reports of yung mga rescue. Diba? Ginagawa rin namin yan. Hindi sapat ang kakayahan ng mga NGOs to take over or assume the responsibility of the state. So let's just make it right and put that responsibility back to the state.
Sevilla adds that public demand for accountability is growing as more animals are exploited almost every day. She believes that the bill creates a more structured system for handling cases ensuring easier access to due process.
No, ang dami-dami ng mga may alagang aso at pusa, ang dami-daming aso at pusa sa paligid natin, ang wildlife, ume-enter na din sa human spaces, like yung sawa sa Davao, yung mga kung ano, mga ganyan. It's about time talaga na pag-isipan nating mabuti. We have to make an effective mechanism to enforce our animal protection laws. Kasi magkakaroon talaga ng clash.
We'll take a short break. This is Business Brief. Today, we take a closer look at how digitalization is reshaping provincial businesses in the Philippines. Many micro, small, and medium enterprises struggle to adopt technology, from connectivity issues to lack of practical tools. Grab Ascenso is a long-term program designed to help these businesses not just survive, but thrive in a digital economy. But how effective is it really? What are the hurdles, and what does it mean for local communities? We are diving in to find out. And joining us this afternoon is CJ Laksikan, Vice President for Cities at Grab Philippines. She leads initiatives like Grab Ascenso and broader regional programs aimed at empowering MSMEs, communities, merchants, and partners across the country. In addition, she oversees programs under Grab Financial Group that provides financing support to driver partners and small businesses, helping them build financial resilience and continuity in the face of economic shocks. CJ, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you. And actually, very happy to be here, Robert.
Nice seeing you again.
Oh, nga, good to see you.
Okay. Now, CJ, when we talk about digitalization, it often sounds aspirational. Now, on the ground, what are the provincial MSMEs actually struggling in terms of technology?
Very simple lang, Robert. Actually, capability building. And hence, the Grab Ascenso program, it's a long-term push on capability building. And when I say capability building, it's really access to tools that they don't have. Know-how that they wouldn't know where to begin with, right? So, ito yung tuloy-tuloy namin ginagawa with them. How do we partner with them so that we understand what do we build for them? So, ganun siya.
Now, Grab Ascenso, it's a digital discarte program. It's positioned as a long-term program. Now, what made you decide this could not just be a pilot or a one-year initiative?
Nung una, tinignan namin, no? So, allow me to start with MSMEs, right? They are more than 90% of our establishments in the Philippines. And majority of them actually employ or provide more than 60% of our employment in the country. So, the starting point is, saan kami mag-pilot nung una? And then we've realized that actually, this is beyond that. So helping them grow in their business, helping them grow in their own industries, actually, sobra siyang malaking input to our economy. And that's how we've done it. And we've partnered with them in terms of problem solving, how to grow, even in so far as capital, access to capital.
Because a lot of them already are in your ecosystem. The merchants, the Grab drivers.
They are.
So all of them need the support and need the help.
Correct. So Ascenso has many legs. Obviously, it has the livelihood creation. It has the growth in terms of their business. But also, it's the ability to stand up, no, pag mahirapan. So this is where we come in terms of financial fortitude.
Yeah. Now, before we go deeper, let's level the set. When you say Grab Ascenso, what exactly is it, and why is it important to do it today?
So Grab Ascenso have three legs. So one is really giving them. So part of the capability building is giving them the right tools. So now we've deployed merchant AI, for example. So we've given them a feature where they can now talk to an AI and say, okay, look, ilan ba yung benta ko last week? Para they can prepare themselves in the business, right? So there's the tools that we provide, giving them the reach, the demand that otherwise, hindi naman nila maaabot yung the next town, right? Through our deliveries. And then we give them access to know-how. Ito yung upskilling namin, the education.
Yes.
And we really handhold them. In so far as, hindi siya education na kami lang. We partner with LGU or government agencies. And also, ito yung we're also very proud of how the merchant communities are growing. They're teaching each other. So magkakapihan kami with the merchants and nagtutulungan sila. Sino ba supplier mo? So it's becoming not just us, it's really a community movement of how do we grow together as a company, but also together as Filipinos, right? And then one more leg I wanted to add is the financial part.
Yes.
If they want to grow, karamihan nga sa nila walang access to formal credit.
Yes.
So the good thing is that we know how much they earn in the platform. So ginagawa namin, tinitingnan namin, ano ba kaya nilang bayaran? Saan sila gustong mag-invest? New branch or bagong truck para pang whatever they need to do to haul things. So yun yung ang dami namin ginagawa. And these are the 3 legs that I'm talking about when I say grab asenso.
Now, getting MSMEs to sign up is one thing. Now, getting them to change how they operate is another. Now, where does adoption usually break down, and what kind of education or seminars do you provide for them to not just sign up and maybe forget about it after a while, but then, adopt and learn, and as you said, they talk amongst each other?
Correct. So nung una, we've been bringing in different experts in the field. But sometimes you really have to bring it on the ground and say, ano pa talaga yung araw-araw na kailangan nilang matutunan? And when we started designing peer-to-peer conversations, and we call it kapihan, with the different merchants, success stories and the learnings of other restaurants actually prove as powerful points for them to actually subukan natin. So when we did a caravan last year, so we've done more than 9 cities, I believe, and what we've actually done is showed to them what these tools would do and what this knowledge would do. And we've seen an uptake right away. Parang after the Essential Learning Program, more than 30% of our merchants suddenly grew. And then so sabi, it actually works. So that peer-to-peer helps, giving them a boost of experts and giving them a simple analytics. Ilan ba benta mo last week? Anong oras ka medyo okay yung benta mo?
Now, for the benefit of our viewers, CJ, when and where did you start the pilot? And what were the learnings and what was the aha moment that said, hindi lang pang pilot to. Let's roll this out.
So also the beauty of Grab is that we are a platform across Southeast Asia. So hindi lang kami natututo within the Philippines but also outside of the Philippines, right? In the Philippines, as an example, we've always been in consultation of pain points. And we are a fan of trying and experimenting.
Maraming pain points.
Maraming pain points. Everything from ordering to selling to marketing to taking photos, right? Or photos of their food. And so we always go in an experimentation mode. So yung pilot sa amin, Robert, it's normal. And so every single time we want to try things, we pilot first. And we have that consultation with the restaurant. Would that help you? Lagi kaming megan. Kaya the community effort is very important. Now, the aha moment is actually when you see na parang after showing them the tool, may nakita kang 30 to 50% growth of their business. That is the aha moment. And we started that in Pampanga. So sabi namin, it works. Let's scale it nationwide.
You mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, that you started with your internal partners, the Grab drivers, the merchants already part of the ecosystem, but now you're rolling it out even outside of that ecosystem?
Within our ecosystem, outside of the area, but also within the Philippines.
But also to try to get them into that ecosystem.
Correct.
So what kind of traction did you get? What were the learnings from those that you have conversations with your merchants, with the drivers, in terms of support, the loans, yung Grab Asenso, the program that you have? What kind of traction do you have today?
Kung sa lending, very high traction. And to begin with, we've started with lending to really help our drivers. Whether it's tuition fee or, to sustain their day-to-day livelihoods, right? And the traction is very high. Majority of our drivers actually look into getting offered. Kasi also we have to be very responsible in lending and making sure that we don't naman, you look at their earnings. On the merchant side, the traction it depends on the product that we put out in the market. For the tools that I have mentioned, when we launched last year, more than 30% right away uptake. So maganda siya. In terms of lending, there are different kinds of restaurants in the industry. Yung mga maliliit talaga yung malaki yung pakinabang kasi as what I've mentioned, ito yung walang access to formal credit, right? And so sila yung talagang mataas yung traction.
Now, outside of Manila, what has turned out to be the biggest constraint? Connectivity? Is it skills? Is it cost? Or trust in digital tools? Usually when you say digital, using AI, it's very technical to even a lot of the MSMEs in the provinces that you're also trying to attract. What were the major constraints that you have and what were the learnings from that?
It's really the know-how in terms of paano siya gagamitin to make it good for them. The great thing about today's world is that because dumaan tayo ng pandemic, digital inclusion, medyo laganap na siya. People are using, right? It's a question, how do you take advantage of that to do good to your business? Dito yung medyo kami nagpo-push. That's why we have a lot of upskilling and learning caravans to teach them. Kung may insight ka kung ilan yung nabenta mo last week, gamitin mo yun when you reorder, right? So, yun yung pinupush namin is this learning caravans or programs that we are building together with our various partners.
Now, many MSME owners do not have formal business training and some are also in the informal sector. Now, how do you make recommendations to those who feel, practical rather than intimidating or overly technical, and also getting them back into the formal sector? What kind of conversations do you have with them?
Informal learning sessions, it's really one way, whereas we teach them in terms of the practices that we've heard across the industry. In smaller groups, dun lumalabas yung, paano mo ginawa yun? And that's why we value so much this community learning together, because talaga siyang practical. It's grounded on even as simple as what time ka gumigising para bumili ng pagkain. 4 o'clock ba? 5 o'clock ba? So these small groups that we organize, they learn from each other. They're the best teachers of each other.
Now, how do you ensure these insights empower MSMEs to make better decisions instead of making them dependent on the platform and kayo, you think for them? How can you help them think for themselves?
And this is where we go into the data analytics side. Tumitingin talaga kami sa growth nila in our platform. And if we see na parang something is off, we make an effort to really reach out to them. So we have people on ground. We also have analytics to support them. So proof point is really nag-grow ka ba sa platform namin.
Now, you're also focusing on AI. AI is a buzzword right now, but how is AI really changing the productivity or business capacity of MSMEs? What have you seen on the ground?
For those sites that use it well, faster. It's really faster because now you can just tell the AI, come up with a caption for me, for my or actually for the food order, right? Or help me figure out, how many should I, what's the store hours, for example, which days I should be open. So what we are telling them is that take advantage of the tools. So don't allow it to be complacent, right? You still have to work hard and grow your business, but use it so mapabilis yung trabaho mo.
Yeah, because there's a lot of fear in terms of AI. Now, how does it come into play in Grab's ecosystem?
So we use it actively. So there's when I say use it actively in a number of ways, I'll start with the interface that we have. So our merchants now have access to AI. So rather than writing down ilan yung nabenta mo last week, you can just ask. It's in the app itself. So we have, I don't know if you know, Bert, we have 3 apps in the Philippines. We have a consumer-facing app, yung tayo gumagamit lagi. We have a driver app that is facing to our drivers.
Like their dashboard where they can
log
into.
Correct, and saan yung maganda yung booking and whatnot. And we also have a merchant app. And in our merchant app, this is where we deploy tools that it's free of use, they can use it. How many yung benta mo last week, ano yung magandang presyo, stuff that actually you would have done manually. Hindi mo na kailangan.
It takes a lot of time pa. Minsan nakakamali ka pa.
Correct. So we teach them how to use it. It's open to them. And we always tell them, look, nasa na yan eh. You tell us whether it's valuable or not. And if not, we will pivot.
Because and all of this is free of charge
it's within the app, yes.
Now, a lot of tech platforms right now, CJ, claim to cater to MSMEs. Now, what differentiates Grab Ascenso from the rest of the programs out there?
I can't speak for the other platforms for sure. What I love and I'm a strong advocate of what we do is that we actually co-create and design things according to what we hear from our communities.
So a lot of it, there's recommendations from the...
Marami. It's a constant evolution. Even the simple mapping that we have, parang yung pin mo nasa dagat na. Diba? But we crowdsource and we work with our communities to make the app better. So pag sinabi nga sa akin, magsastop na ba tayo? No, it's a constant evolution because how we do things, how we run business, how we are with our suppliers and whatnot changes every day.
So it becomes a two-way street. It's nice that you mentioned it's becoming a community, not only just for purely business. No?
It is.
So because we see a lot of, as I mentioned, platforms who say they cater to MSMEs, but sadly some don't really cater to MSMEs. Now, what other things do you provide the MSMEs and your partners in terms of upskilling them? Providing them the different types of tools, providing an easier user interface for them, para it's not too difficult, easy. So, what kind of recommendations do you also get from them?
So, if we look at the total business of MSMEs, there's our own platform. This is the Grab platform in terms of deliveries. We're also now supporting them off-platform. So, nasa restaurant sila, paano yung gusto nila mag-promotion? So, we start doing omni-commerce strategy. We also have a solution that's called Tap and Scan to Pay. So, the same app that you have, no more buying of devices, you can accept credit card and QRPH, which is also a very big thing now in the Philippines, right? Enabling that, allowing QRPH to be used. So, even they can cater to customers that are cashless. So we're starting to offer that also, Robert. Again, it's also learning. We're also learning together with the restaurants. Is this the right way to do it? Is there more things that we can improve? So yun yung sa restaurant side. But I also want to add in, we're doing so much community building also with our drivers. So hindi lang merchants.
Yeah.
So the whole ecosystem is really working together beautifully.
Because it has to be a well-oiled machine.
Correct,
Kung mawala yung mga Grab drivers mo, wala rin yung ecosystem. But the lending part of Grab Ascenso, is it a different app or is it within a particular app?
It's the same app.
The Grab app.
Correct. So if you're a driver, you can get it in your driver app. You get the offering. Of course, we have to look at making sure you're able to pay, right? On the merchant, on the same way. And the engine behind that, we have a very strong payments engine to make sure that we pay our our drivers and merchants on time.
Now, is there a move to go outside of that? Let's say there are a lot of lending apps out there that provide lending to those who can't get a credit card and all that. Is also that part and parcel of the next step, the strategy of Grab Ascenso?
Yes, we are. So the learnings that we've had with our drivers and our restaurants over a number of years, we're now scaling that to our consumers. And of course, we are bound within you're making sure that it's responsible, it's compliant also with regulators. So we're going out, yes.
Now, again, lending is a very difficult space to be in, but why did Grab decide to step into this space? And how do you assess risk for those who have little or no formal credit history?
Mahirap. Mahirap siya, Robert. But if you look at the industry and the Philippines as a whole, we really need to open it up. So we've seen the good that it's doing to the drivers and to the restaurants in our platform, and we want to scale that across the Philippines and drive financial fortitude, yung sinasabi ko, di ba? So how do we do it? We have access to their earnings. We make sure that kaya nilang magbayad yung day-to-day. So we look at it carefully. We look at creditworthiness. We look at, how long have they been in the platform. For the consumer side, we also know where they go, what they eat, how much they spend. So we look at many factors to assess, pwede ba natin itong bigyan?
For those MSMEs who you are giving out loans to, do you also help them in terms of when they loan, how to use it, how to better use it, and how to grow their business so that they just don't end up in bad debt?
No, absolutely, absolutely. We actually encourage them to look at it from a growth standpoint. Hindi pa de luho.
And finally, CJ, what's next for Grab Ascenso? What can we see in the next, let's say, 1 to 2 years?
Well, we're here, and we are very happy to continue to serve the Philippines and our communities. And the next wave, we are looking at Grab Finance for sure.
On that note, CJ, thank you very much for joining us and bringing your insights, and also seeing that a lot of the MSMEs really do need help, and it's nice to see companies like Grab and programs like Grab Ascenso to really help out our small businesses and grow and build that ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robert.
Okay, thank you very much, CJ Laksikan from Grab. We'll continue after the break. This is Business Brief. U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright is in Caracas advancing a new phase in US-Venezuela energy relations, focusing on cooperation and investment in Venezuela's oil industry. On Thursday, Wright toured major oil production sites with Venezuela acting President Delcy Rodriguez. The officials inspected the Petro Independencia joint venture operated by Chevron and state oil company PDVSA in the Orinoco oil belt. They examined production infrastructure in Monagas State, accompanied by U.S. Charge d'Affaires Laura Dogu as part of Wright's official visit to Venezuela. Wright arrived in Caracas on Wednesday and met with Rodriguez at the Miraflores Presidential Palace.
We are working on a very fast-paced agenda to consolidate binational cooperation. This is what matters to both the United States and Venezuela. Our people should benefit from partnerships. Chevron has been in Venezuela for over 100 years, and we are doing extraordinary work as partners to improve production, facilities, infrastructure, and maintenance. This is the path of cooperation and the agenda for a long-term productive partnership. No obstacle should stand in the way of this productive path we are on.
With gold prices at record highs, Canadian miner London Gold is spending big to keep its flagship Ecuador mine running longer. The company invests $100 million for an aggressive exploration campaign at the Fruta del Norte mine in Zamora Chinchipe province. Executives say the program covers around 133,000 meters of drilling across its concessions as part of a 3-year project launched in 2025. The goal is to expand current reserves, now at 5.54 million ounces, and discover new deposits. London operates 7 drilling rigs underground and 11 on the surface to accelerate resource development.
The exploration campaigns we're implementing now have already allowed us in a short time to make interesting discoveries around or near Fruta del Norte, and there we're talking about copper porphyries. Our goal is to keep investing in exploration. This takes time, and continue discovering the potential that these porphyries have, which, as I said, are copper.
The expansion comes as gold trades at historic levels, driven by geopolitical tensions and shifts in global monetary policy. JP Morgan expects prices to reach $6,300 per ounce by year-end. Asian shares trade mostly lower, tracking sharp Wall Street losses on a sell-off of technology-related stocks as investors fear companies could lose out from artificial intelligence disruptions. Among the Asian shares, only HNX 30 index trade higher, with Hang Seng index falling the most at nearly 2%. In currency trading, the US dollar trades 153.23 against the Japanese yen, 781 against the Hong Kong dollar, 126 against the Singapore dollar, 1445 against the South Korean won, 31.13 against the Thai baht, while the Australian dollar trades at 70 cents against the greenback. In commodities, gold trades higher by 0.6%, but oil prices decrease. In crypto, Bitcoin climbs by over 1%, while Ethereum rises 0.3%. Philippine shares end in the negative territory in the final trading day of the week. The PSCI closes over 1% lower to 63.84. All of the day's most active stocks are in the red, with mining and oil falling the most at over 3%. Decliners outpace advancers 115 to 74, with value turnover at 8.4 billion pesos. Majority of the day's most active stocks are in the red, with ICTSI falling the most at nearly 5%. And in currencies, the peso closes at 58.02 against the US dollar, up from the previous close of 58.115. Wilcon Depot is accelerating its store expansion in 2026, targeting up to 8 new locations to meet rising demand for construction supplies. The company plans to open a mix of large-scale depots and smaller stores to reach underserved provincial markets. Wilcon's net income fell 11.9% last year due to climate-related disruptions, but sales remained resilient, rising 2.6%. The company aims to capitalize on home renovation trends, positioning itself for stronger performance in 2026. Singapore's Anthony Tan is pushing Grab into the U.S. wealth management market. This as Southeast Asia's super app giant Grab Holdings agrees to acquire U.S.-based digital investment platform Stash Financial in a deal valued at $425 million. The transaction, expected to close in the third quarter of 2026, gives Grab an initial 50.1% stake in Stash. The company will buy the remaining shares at fair market value over the next 3 years. Grab CEO and co-founder Anthony Tan calls the deal a milestone in the company's transformation into a global financial services player. Singapore-based Keppel Limited is exiting the Philippine property market. It has agreed to sell its entire stake in Keppel Philippines Properties to Forward Synergy Group for nearly 473 million pesos. The deal covers 86.83% of Keppel Philippines Properties, or approximately 1.9 pesos per share, according to its share purchase agreement. The sale will trigger a mandatory tender offer for minority shareholders. The company has also requested a voluntary trading suspension on the Philippine Stock Exchange from February 13 to 16 to give investors time to assess the disclosure. According to Minichart, the stake had a net asset value of about 428.6 million pesos as of September 30, 2025. Meanwhile, its market value stood at 668.4 million pesos as of February 11. Payment will be made in 3 tranches with full settlement upon completion. The sale marks Keppel's complete exit from the Philippines property sector, allowing the company to focus on other core businesses in the region. Miguel Luis Tabuena will represent the Philippines full-time in the 5th season of the Live Golf League. He earned a full-time wildcard after his breakthrough victory on the Asian Tour's International Series, which boosted his bid for promotion to bigger events. Tabuena, a 4-time Asian Tour champion and 2016 Rio Olympian, will compete in the Live Golf Adelaide tournament in Australia from February 12 to 15. He says last year's win opened doors to higher profile events and strengthened his aspirations in the global golf circuit. And that's a wrap for today's Business Brief. I'm Robert Tan. Join us again next week for the stories that help you plan your next big, bold business moves. only here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.